Alright, so what's going on YouTube? We got Hunter right here in the back. Today we're going to do a video as far as giving tips to newbies. Something we wish we would have known starting off. And do you want to start off? Or?
Sure, I will. It doesn't matter. So the first thing we thought of is that you don't have to have a workout partner to be able to work out.
Yeah, that's one thing that I know, like, I didn't want to start working out. Like, I think I skipped a month of when I actually wanted to start working out because I was just so, like, I would need a gym partner, you know, because what if I just felt more comfortable, and I was like, what if, like, I'm bitching and then, like, it just falls on me, like, who's going to help? And if that's the case, you know, if you're, like, struggling and someone sees you, they're going to go over there and help. They're not going to be like, oh, like, he deserves to die. But,
yeah, that was one thing that was a big deal for me because I was always afraid to squat when I didn't have anyone with me. Failing to know that if you fail a squat or if you're failing, the best thing to do is just let go. It's actually worse to have a spotter under you trying to help you if you're really struggling to get it up. It's better to just let it go and just let the racks catch it and then just try it again.
Yeah, that's kind of like the worst thing for me because, like, most people, they're scared to squat because they feel like it's going to hurt them something, but in my opinion, like, squat is kind of like one of the safest exercises.
Yeah.
Because unless you don't have a safety rack, unless, like, you're a CrossFitter, of course, then I would understand, you know, your fear. But if you go to any, like, commercial or just locally owned gym, they're gonna have safety racks. So you would have to, like, fall back or literally break your spine, and that's the only way you would actually get hurt, in my opinion. So we have to make a list. So.
All right. The next up is gym accessories. So things like, you know, lifting straps, lifting belt, gloves, etc., etc.
Yeah. And I would say. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. They're definitely beneficial. Well, some of them are, but they're not necessary. If you're just getting into things, I definitely wouldn't recommend investing in a nice belt or nice wraps anytime soon. I would make sure that you're seriously dedicated to working out and that you're going to a gym regularly before you worry about investing money into those things.
Yeah, and also, even if you do just invest in something cheap like a Walmart $10 straps or $20 belt, I would still even wait on that because before I actually went to gym, I bought all that stuff, and it turned out that the gym already has some of that stuff. So, like I said, you know, before you actually start and get, like, good gear, like for me, like my SPD knee sleeves, my Pioneer leather belt, the Inzer belt, some people call it, you know, that stuff wasn't cheap. Both knee sleeves were like $45. That's not cheap to anybody. And the belt, it's $100, but I customized it just in case because I do tend to leave stuff and forget stuff. So I put my last name on it so nobody would take it. But yeah, like I said, just wait and make sure. I would wait at least, like, what, a year and a half
Yeah.
before you actually, like, start buying anything, because a lot can happen.
Also, no gloves.
Yeah, don't do
wear
gloves unless you have, like, some really weird skin condition. But
unless that's the case, no gloves.
yeah. All right. Let's see what's the next on the list. Let's see.
Training methods.
No, whey protein. Actually.
Oh, whey protein. Sorry.
Yeah. Whey protein and supplements. Not everything that comes in a jar that GNC and Walmart sells or any other nutrition store is the same. It's not all protein, and all protein is the same. For example, whey protein and casein protein is obviously not the same. Whey protein acts quick, it's easy to digest, and casein protein, it's recommended to take at night, and it's a very slowly digested protein. And honestly, in my opinion, if you want to make gains, you don't need this stuff. Like, yes, it's nice to have, but it's not necessary. And that's one thing that a lot of people, like, think. And because what's the number one thing you hear is, oh, if you want to get big, you gotta take in whey protein, and once you take whey protein, you're gonna look like Hunter. You know, you're gonna look for me to look like Hunter, and that's not necessarily the case. Maybe if you're a beginner, it might help, but it's not. That's not reality.
What I would say is that I would only buy it if it's gonna be a convenience for you. If you're in a financial situation to where it's hard to get, you know, chicken breast, egg whites, the lean proteins that everyone says, and you're having trouble reaching your daily protein goals, which as a beginner you probably won't be too worried about anyway, but as you advance you will. If it helps you reach your daily protein goals, then I definitely say invest in whey protein. But if it doesn't, if you can get enough protein throughout the day through just normal food, then there's no need.
Yeah, and normal food is actually better than actually whey protein. But of course, what you said, whey protein is actually cheap because you get 30 servings for depending on what brand you get, for $45, which comes out to $1 per serving, and that's pretty good. Also, another thing I was gonna say, not all whey protein is the same. Don't go to Walmart and buy, what was it?
Body Fortress.
That black and orange one that says.
Don't buy Body Fortress. Do not buy 6 Star.
Yeah, just stay away from Walmart. I mean, they sell Optimum Nutrition now. That's what I would recommend. But other than that, I would not recommend because it says 60 grams of protein, and they're not lying. But what they're not telling you is you have to put 2 to 3 scoops of whey protein in there, and it's disgusting. I think the flavor that Walmart provides
Tastes like chalk.
Yeah, it's
not good.
It's terrible. But like I said, I've seen that Walmart's now selling Optimum Nutrition stuff. That's good, and I think it was Dymatize. It's alright in my opinion, but I still prefer Optimum Nutrition. And a bunch of the big bodybuilders that haven't been sponsored yet, that's what they use. So yeah. Alright, and the next is training methods. First thing I want to clarify, if you look like me or skinnier than me, don't get on the treadmill. That's one big thing a lot of people do. They just they start doing cardio. They think oh, I'm gonna get big, I'm gonna get abs. Well, you will, but it's not. If you would have to weigh, you would have to be overweight for cardio to be necessary. Like I said, if you look like me, there's no reason for you to go on cardio because all you're gonna do is burn away what little muscle you do have. What I recommend is kind of doing a strength training workout or strength training plan. Yeah, or more of a bodybuilder, more of a strength training, not cardio. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just don't. It's alright to it's okay to experiment with the way you train until you find something that works for you. And that leads kind of into the next topic. Don't be afraid to try new methods or try new training styles. I remember when I first started, I was working out with my father, and we basically did the same routine for every muscle group that we worked, and I stuck to that for a good 6 months because I was like, hey, it worked. I'm sore as hell the next day, so it works. That's not the case. Don't go into the gym and do the exact same movement in the exact same order every single time. Change things up. You don't have to open every lower body day with squats if you want to, or you could do deadlifts to work on your hamstrings more. You don't have to open every chest day with flat bench. You could do incline bench. You could do flies. You could change everything up. Just try to make things inconsistent. Try to just change the way things work.
Yeah, and I was gonna say also, contrary to some people think, you have to do everything every single time, but don't be afraid to add in, like you said, you can start off the flies, get the chest pre-exhausted, and then hit bench. Now, me personally, I always like to start off my compound movements when I'm strongest, but also it's very beneficial to pre-exhaust your muscles as well because they're warmed up, they have blood in them, and it's and also you gotta play with your body a little bit, I guess you could say, because obviously what works for Hunter might not work for me. That's just the reality of it. But yeah, it's just you just kind of have to play with it, in my opinion. All right, and next thing is don't be afraid to try new things. All right, understanding nutrition. I think that's one of the biggest things that a newbie needs to understand. Going back to the whole protein thing, whey protein. Don't eat just protein. That's the one thing every newbie doesn't understand, and they always want to cut out carbs, 0 carbs. I remember when I started, I was looking at Michael Corey's low carb diet, low carb pizza, low carb this, low carb that, just low carb food. And to give you an estimate as to how much your body needs carbs. I weigh 150 and I have to eat about 500 grams of carbs just because my daily routines and since I'm bulking and this and that and the other. And how much carbs do you have to eat?
I have like 406,
Yeah.
but I also have a higher protein count because I weigh more than him. So
Yeah. But
our goals are different.
yeah, and we'll get like to like our daily routines later, but that's just to give you an idea like how much carbs like you just how much carbs is like important. But yeah, like, and you don't go crazy with the protein. I would say to just start off with your like body weight. If you're like me and Hunter, like pretty leanish, I guess. But honestly, if you're like obese, like if you're like our heights, which I'm 5'7", you're 5'7", yeah, 5'7" as well. And you weigh like 220, 230, and it's not muscle, then yeah, you might want to go online and kind of try and figure out what your lean body mass is, and then go off that. Anything else you want to add?
If you're eating nothing but protein, you're going to develop something called high cholesterol, and that's not good. So you want to make sure you're eating an adequate amount of protein. That's not too much, and you need all three macronutrients. You need carbs and you need fats. Carbs are going to help you grow, and they're going to give you quick energy for your lifts, and fats are going to help you just tremendously in terms of physical health. They help with hair health, skin health. They help improve your daily function. So you need everything.
And also, not all like carbs is like you can go to like into the gas station and buy like candy and look at the bag that says like 36 carbs and there's 3 servings in there. So
right under it says 36 grams of sugar also.
Yeah, like I mean I've done it before just to be able to hit it, but I also don't go like overboard and like eat half my like carb intake with sugar. Like that's just kind of like a little treat for me. Like that's something I can play with a little bit, but I don't recommend it, even though I do it sometimes. I'm just trying to be real with you guys. Know your goal in order to achieve. So let's say you don't really want to be bulky, you just want to be strong. Okay, so you don't have to do like hypertrophy workouts. You know, high rep range, not so like heavy weight. You would have to like want to do more of a powerlifting program, which is lots of sets and very low reps and high weight, which is kind of like what I've been doing for my compound movements. I think Hunter, he's kind of been doing that a little bit too. But yeah, you just have to like understand your goal. Like if your goal is to be like a bodybuilder, then yeah, you do have to add in some more reps. You have to also train for strength, but not completely, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, and if you're also trying to get bigger, again, don't do cardio. And if you're trying to lean out and you're already big but still like gain muscle, then yeah, you can do some cardio, but you know, don't go crazy and do like, I don't know, like 600, burn 700 calories. I'll start off with maybe 200 calories and kind of see where that gets you. Weigh yourself, of course. Yeah, I think that's it. Stretching. That's something that not a lot of people do. Stretching is going to be very beneficial because, you know, it's kind of like plastic, in my opinion. You know, you want to, if you just like move it or twist it when it's cold, then yeah, it's going to break. That's basically like your muscle. So you want to warm up, stretch it out, and it's basically going to be like elastic when you do heavy weight. So that's just to prevent injury. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's super important. Not many people realize it, but it's very important in just not even avoiding injuries, and that's what everyone will tell you. You know, hey, it's, you know, the old timers will tell you that hey, you've got to stretch to avoid injuries, which is true, but you know, you might just be like whatever. But it improves the lift itself.
Oh yeah,
it makes lifting weights a lot easier. When I was just doing basic quad stretches before my squat, it wouldn't really make a difference. Now I do my 10-minute stretch routine before squats, I can move weight a lot easier. So it's just very beneficial just to stretch in general.
Yeah, and just think about it this way, you know, you can lift more and it's going to like prevent injuries, so why wouldn't you want to do it? I mean, yeah, it takes like 10-15 minutes out of your workout, but if you think about it, if you don't do it, you know, you can injure yourself and then be out of the gym for like 6 months, you know. It's just stretch. Let's see, don't skip leg day, we'll look at that. And compare yourself to someone else. You know, I asked Hunter to do this video with me because I figured like he comparing us. I feel like that would be like the perfect comparison because Hunter, what he did, he was a college student. Now he's out for summer.
I'm still a college student. I'm just home for the summer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. He's a college student. He just on summer break. But all I did was go to college and go to the gym and play Fortnite, I guess.
Fuck Fortnite.
Oh yeah, you
I play real video games.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, anyways, just play games. That's about it. Now, I don't want to make him sound bad, but this is what I do. I go to work. I have a girlfriend. Believe it or not, I go to the gym. I also have a dog. I vlog. Did I say that I go to school? Well,
No, you didn't say that.
Okay,
Actually.
so I go to school, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing one thing. I also like spend time with my family. No offense to him, but he lives.
I hate my family. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the case.
Like he doesn't really spend time with his family.
I live 3 hours away from my family. So.
Yeah, he goes to college up in Atlanta, and we're like 1 hour away from the Florida border. So, yeah. So he doesn't do that. So that's 7 things that I do compared to like 2. And that's I'm not down talking him or anything, but that's one other reason why I eat so much more carbs is because even though I'm smaller than him and lighter than him, but my job is not a very heavy job, but it's still like demands like energy, if that makes sense. Also, I'm always just so much more busier, and Hunter, he just has that ability to focus a little bit more on his workout versus me. I gotta, I don't always like finish out my workouts like I would like to, but I just have to make it work. Anything else you want to add?
Just in general, comparing yourself to others. I think everyone suffers from it. Not even just in the terms of lifting and working out, but just in general. You're always comparing yourself to someone else in anything you do. You could be in school and you get A- on a test and someone gets an A+, you're going to compare yourself to them. Like, well, why am I not good enough to get that? It carries over to every aspect of life. It's better to just not worry about it because everyone is different and there's only one you. Well, I sound like a motivational speaker here. It's like
maybe that's what you have to do.
Maybe
he doesn't have a YouTube channel yet.
I don't know.
He's been working on it,
but yeah, just don't worry about comparing yourself to others. I know that was a big deal I did when I first got into lifting because obviously Arnold was like a hero of mine.
Yeah, I think anybody that starts working out, that's who you go to. I mean,
and then you realize all the steroids that they do and all the steroids the modern bodybuilders do, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe I don't feel so bad. And if you let it get to you, that leads to other things. Like if you let comparing yourself to these other guys get to you, it leads to like body dysmorphia issues, self-image issues. Can lead to not saying it'll automatically lead to steroid use, but lead to an increased interest in illegal supplementation, which I don't condone, but I don't also disagree with. It's just if you want to do it, you want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't think anyone wants to do it.
At least not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Yeah. Maybe when we're like 60 and have nothing to live for, we'll do it.
Like what? You might as well try it.
But yeah, just do yourself, do your own thing, and do what works for you. Because what you do that works for you is not necessarily going to work for everyone else. So just work on making yourself the best you that you can.
And also, one other thing I forgot to mention is that Hunter, he's been doing it for a year longer than I have. So that's a big difference. Don't compare someone that's been doing it for like, let's say David Lade. David, he's the same age, if not just a few months older than we are, but he's been training 6 to 8 years, something like that?
6 to 8 years.
Yeah, 6 to 8 years.
Also a fake natty. So.
Yeah, he's probably natty at one point, but
well, everyone's a natty at one point.
Yeah.
Arnold was a natty at one point.
Oh yeah, of course, but I mean,
Phil Heath was a natty at one point.
Yeah, he made you like, I think he's natty. Now lately, I just like we both come to agreement like there's no way he's natty. But like that's another thing. Comparing someone to like 6 to 8 years versus 2.5-ish to 3 years. 3.5. Of course it's not going to be the same. It's like that would be comparing like like a middle school to a high school as far as education. Like it's just not gonna. Why would you even compare it? It's what I'm trying to say. And Hunter, he had a little bit of advantage, with his dad, because his dad kind of guide him in the right way. Me, mine was trial and error. But again, I'm not bashing Hunter, but I'm just giving you the example and saying, and again, this is why I asked him to do it, because I felt like he would be the perfect comparison to me. And there's not really anything wrong with comparing. I'm not trying to say don't compare yourself at all, because that's what me and Hunter do. We don't compare each other in physique wise, but as far as strength, we're always asking each other, hey, how much you benching, how much you deadlifting and squatting, and then they'll tell me, I'm gonna be like, dick, and then I'll go try to be that.
We usually ask each other that to try and help each other improve the lift.
Yeah, so rivalry, that's not a bad thing, but don't make it to where you're always comparing yourself. You need to compare yourself from the person you were a day ago or a week ago or even a year ago. Another thing I was gonna say, when you start off, take pictures, because that's one thing I wish I had. I don't even have just a picture with my family or anything like that, and which is sad. But just pictures starting off, I would seriously recommend that, because you'll get to the point where you're at a plateau and you feel like you're not growing anymore, and going back and looking at those pictures, you're like, oh wow, I've actually grown a little bit, and then your motivation comes back.
I did that too. I forgot to take any pictures.
Yeah, so
I was this big, and now no one believes I was ever a stick.
I do, because I know
he knows me, so Edwin knows. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're about to wrap up this video, because I was planning on making it 10 minutes long. I think it's 20 something minutes. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to cut some stuff out. Not much, hopefully. YouTube is kind of weird. Anyways, I would link Hunter's YouTube channel into the description, but he doesn't.
But I don't have one.
He doesn't have one at least yet. So I'll link his Instagram too in the description below. I hope this video helped y'all, and yeah, like I said again, you might see Hunter again. I hope so. I don't know what else we could do. Probably work out sometimes. Who knows? But yeah, hope this video was informative. It helped you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to leave a like. And we'll see you in the next video, or at least me. So.